going to be working with Castor from the block, so I'm going to do a bit of desensitizing there. I've already done quite a bit of desensitizing from above him, but using the fence, so it's just going to be a little bit different. Um, I'm going to try and get him evened out here. So I definitely wouldn't be like jerking on his lead rope or anything anymore, but this was a couple of years ago at this point, and I'm just kind of showing the journey of doing that, but I definitely don't recommend doing that. So just trying to get him lined up and then just doing some desensitizing. I want to get him just used to seeing me and letting me kind of rub all over him, seeing me on both sides of him, things like that. I want to make sure he's cool with all that kind of stuff. So I like to start off on the fence because I'm just at a better vantage point. Like I can get off, he can kind of leave more, and I can just kind of stay up there versus when I'm on the block. It's still not a bad place to be, but I'm closer to the horse. I don't have so much as of a barrier, so I can kind of just jump behind the fence if I needed to. Um, and I'm just closer. It does help because he's gonna have to get used to standing next to the block at some point. So we kind of work on that and getting him lined up, and then it's going to be easier for me to kind of lay over him, have him see me from both sides, both eyes, and stuff like that, and pet on him a little bit. So I like to do both of them, is what I'm getting at basically. But I want to do some petting and some getting used to my foot here. So I'm going to click while that foot was on him, and then I'm going to reward him. So some horses can get kind of weary about that. It's different because you don't usually do that. That's a new thing for them, but he's gonna have to get used to it because I want to sit on bareback and kind of move all around him, and then once I'm putting my foot in the stirrup, stuff like that. So again, while my foot's rubbing on him, I'm gonna click and feed and go ahead and move him straight. And I also want to start working on feeding him with his head turned to the side. So it wasn't a ton of head turn, like it wasn't to the point where he would be getting it like the same position as if I was riding, but this is a start, so I don't want to put too many things like together at once. I want to make sure that he's feeling okay about it because here you can see he's kind of like a little bit skeptical about like moving his head over and getting the treat kind of like he doesn't just come and turn his head, he's kind of like tilting a little bit. So I'm gonna do a little bit of jumping up down next to him, which I've already done a little bit of that, so he's already seen that, but I want to kind of add it in with the mounting block. I probably will never jump up and down before I get on the horse. Um, and then I might jump off of him, which is mainly why I'm doing this. But if he were to go someone else, some people like to do a little couple hops before they get in or get on. So it's just a nice, good desensitizing thing for him to do. And again, I am jumping, and while I'm jumping, I click, and then I stop, and then I feed him. So it has to be, the click has to be while the behavior is happening, while whatever it is you want to be rewarded is happening. So that time he was really good. He bent his head a lot more to get his treat. He seems pretty relaxed. His neck's fairly level. He's just really focused on eating here, so he doesn't look super tensed. Um, I like that. I like how he went to grab the treat there. Like his ears are moving, but he doesn't seem like stuck in one place or shut down or anything like that. So I like all that. I'm gonna ask him to kind of maneuver with his halter here and go to the other side. That was pretty good. That's what I was trying to accomplish that first time, and it just didn't work out that well. Should have just been more gentle, taking my time a little bit more. I'm just kind of ask him to step over a little bit. So I'm just kind of getting him more maneuverable. So can he follow the lead rope side to side? Can I push him over when I need to get him set up to where I want him to be? And just kind of maneuvering around so he's not afraid if someone were to do that with him in the future. So again, lots of petting, lots of him seeing me on the other side, patting him. Again, I'm going to do some foot desensitizing on this side. It's going to be separate things. So separate things on each side, and then you put them together once you get on. So he needs to see me on on his left side reaching over and his right side reaching over, and again like this foot on his side, on this side and the other side. So everything needs to be split up to make sure he's okay with all those pieces. And I'm gonna lean over him a little bit. Again, I'm clicking while I'm leaned over him, which with the fence I can do that, but it's a little bit trickier because you're trying to keep your balance on the fence and then leaning. I find leaning on the fence is a little bit more difficult. I like to do it on the mounting block a little bit easier. So again, doing some jumping up and down. He looks great. Um, and then I added that like touching him, so I was jumping up and down while touching him because sometimes that can scare them to where like they see movement and feel something. So he did excellent with that. Not a problem there. So let him hang out and eat his treat real quick. But I'm just kind of adding more things on. Like if you've seen through the whole series, is I would start with like one thing, we'll do another thing, and then once he's followed with those things, I added into like another exercise. So like with this exercise, I'm jumping up and down, I'm touching him, patting him, I'm making noise, I'm doing all these other things, I'm maneuvering him around. So it's just a whole bunch of different things. Um, it's still I can still go back and break it down if I need to, but I love this. I love that he's coming up on his own here. He's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I love that I can do it while he's got his lead rope on and he's not afraid of it moving around or touching him or just seeing the rope above him on that panel. I love all of that. Looks great. So I like that he's coming up to it. He seems fairly confident about that. I would like his head and neck position to be a bit lower. He was a little tense. He looks a little bit better here. He looks great with the flag. Like he didn't seem to care very much and he was looking for a street. So he looked good with the flag. Again, I had already showed him the flag. He's already seen the flag on the ground. He's been desensitized at both sides. He targets it. He's cool with it. And now I'm just adding in another piece of that. So can I do it while I'm above you now? And he seems totally fine with that. And then I can do a little bit of having that flag behind his hindquarters and desensitize him a little bit back there so that when I want to start walking around his hindquarters, then I can kind of get an idea of what that's going to be like. And he didn't seem really worried or concerned about that at all. And then again, I'm just going to maneuver him a little bit. He gets off of that rope pressure really well, and then I kind of straighten him out with my cue, which he really likes doing the side pass for me. And again, same process, other side. He looks pretty good. I'd say I'd like him maybe a little bit more relaxed. Again, this is his first time doing this particular exercise where he's standing next to the fence and seeing the flag. So I could probably have broken it down a little bit and maybe just touched him with it, clicked and treated, and then let him go ahead and eat it and then kind of build from there. He doesn't look horribly tense. He looks pretty relaxed. I like that. I like where his head's going down here. So he did relax over time, but if I was redoing it now, I would definitely have clicked and treated and broken up the lesson a little bit more. So now I'm kind of adding in, like I'm touching with my hand and moving that flag around. So I'm really happy with this and kind of seeing where he's at with it, and he was willing to participate. So this looks quite good and he can move on to the next lesson.